Hello people, I'm the Real Comic Book Gamer, and today we got some of the solo Rebirth titles released. I'm going to be talking about Superman, Batman, and Green Arrow. Green Lantern came out today, but I'm not going to talk about that because that book is focused on Jessica Cruz and Simon Baz, characters that I'm not really interested in. I read some of the books with them in it before, and they don't appeal to me, and they're not characters that are really interesting to me. In fact, the only Green Lantern that I'll actually buy their solo book is Hal Jordan. Like, Jon Stewart has a solo book. I like Jon Stewart, but not enough to actually spend money on his solo book. So anyways, spoilers for the titles that I mentioned before: Batman, Superman, and Green Arrow. So yeah, let's get into it. Now, let's start off with my favorite of the three books, Superman. This is written by Peter J. Tomasi, and he does a really good job. This book is about pre-New 52 Superman because, in case you did not know, New 52 Superman died. At the very end of New 52, he died. Not going to go into how or anything about that. You can read that story if you want. But anyways, he died, and so pre-New 52 Superman is sitting there just watching his grave because he thinks that this Superman will come back because when he fought Doomsday, he came back, and, when he died, he came back. So he's like, you know what, this guy's probably not going to stay dead for long. So when he's sitting there watching his grave, he hears Lana Lang. He hears footsteps, he goes, he investigates, finds out it's Lana Lang. They have a conversation. She explains how she had a prior agreement with Clark that she made a promise. If he died, she'd bury him next to his parents, his actual Earth parents. And so she was going to collect his remains. And Superman goes, he's like, I don't think he's going to be dead for too long, though, because when I fought Doomsday, I died and I came back. And through that, we get a flashback with just amazing art. Like, Doug Mankey's a really good artist, and he does the art on this book throughout all of it, and he does good. But once it hits this point, it just goes into overdrive. Like, dear God, he stepped up his game. It's amazing the way this looks. Like, this makes me want a sort of redux of Death of Superman. Like, I just want Death of Superman, but with this art. Like, this was just amazing, and to see Superman back in the classic suit, even just for a flashback, was amazing, and I loved it. And Doug Mankey, dear God, it was a combination of Doug Mankey, the inker, and the colorist. Like, they just stepped it up for this little flashback, and it looks beautiful. It is so gorgeous. This art is amazing, and I love it. And again, seeing Superman back in his classic costume was great, and yeah, I really enjoyed seeing that flashback. And then it goes back to Superman and Lana talking, and he's like, I don't have the machine that was able to enable me to become back, so I can go and search this New 52 Superman. I can go search this Superman's Fortress of Solitude and see if he's got it. So together they travel to the fortress, and they see that that thing does not exist here. He does not have it in his fortress, so it looks like New 52 Superman is going to stay dead. And so then Superman's like, hey, Lana, I'll help you. And he takes the remains and puts it in, the grave next to his parents, so that way that Superman can die like he wanted, be buried like he wanted to. And then the issue ends with Superman saying, all that tomorrow is missing is Superman. So we see that this pre-New 52 Superman is going to be taking the position of Superman on this Earth. So yeah, it's filling the position nicely. It was a really nice issue. I really enjoyed it. Thought it was pretty good. Peter J. Tomasi did a great job. Doug Mankey did great. And then again, for that flashback, just stepped into overdrive. Like, whoa. If he can do that every time, that was amazing how that looked. Because Doug Mankey's a great artist, but then he just stepped up his game. I don't know what he did, but it's amazing. Like, I'll try to put some of the panels on screen for you guys when I was talking about it, but yeah, it looks amazing. So yeah, this Superman book, I really enjoy it. If you're a fan of Superman, definitely go pick it up, but if you're not caught up with Superman, you'll probably be a little confused, but nonetheless, it's a great book. Now moving on to Batman, which is written by Tom King and Scott Snyder. It's sort of Scott Snyder handing off the torch to Tom King, because Tom King's going to be taking over the main Batman book, to where Scott Snyder will be taking over All-Star Batman. So they're still writing Batman, just, different titles. And yeah, this book was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It's not my favorite, but it was I liked it. It's got the same artist from Grayson, so if you guys have been reading Grayson, you know what it looks like. It looks pretty good. I like the art. The overall story was pretty cool. A little interesting. They make some changes to Calendar Man that are really interesting, what they do there, because basically Calendar Man, and also I thought it was really cool how for Rebirth they decide to use Calendar Man as the villain. I just like that idea. I was like, of course Tom King would do that. Tom King's one of my favorite writers right now. He's great, and him doing this, I was like, that's a cool decision to do, to have Calendar Man be the villain of this story arc. I really like that, because what happens is Batman encounters Calendar Man at the beginning, and like there's all these spores, and they're going like through Calendar Man's planet. It turns out that Calendar Man is making the seasons change incredibly fast in Gotham. Like, it's incredibly hot one second, and then it's not the next, and it's just like the seasons are changing really fast, because this Calendar Man, he ages with the seasons. So he goes, and once it becomes a certain season, he dies and gets reborn with the new seasons, and he's in his prime and he's young again. I was like, okay, that's an interesting concept for Calendar Man. Honestly, don't know how I feel about it, but it's whatever. And then I was a little confused here with this guy named Duke, who's apparently was a Robin, because I have not read anything Batman since Endgame. I've been keeping up with Grayson, but that's like it. Like, I don't know who this Duke guy is. I don't know if he's part of like the We Are Robins thing or whatever. Again, I haven't read anything Batman since Endgame, so I don't know who this guy is, so that doesn't mean anything to me. If you guys have been keeping up with Batman, then you'll know who he is, of course, but I don't. So Batman's been training him to be sort of his new sidekick, and yeah, we see Calendar Man be reborn. So yeah, that's sort of where the book ends. I'm really interested to see how this goes. I love Calendar Man. I love it that they're bringing him back. I think that's really cool, and I'm just really interested to see what goes on there. I like that idea of bringing Calendar Man back, and this was just a really good book. Now, moving on to Green Arrow. This book is written by Benjamin Piercy, who was the writer for the New 52 Green Arrow, and now he's transitioning to Rebirth. The art in this book is fantastic. My favorite part about this book was the art. It's done by Otto Schmidt. I absolutely love the style they're going for here. Like, it fits everything perfectly, and everything looks great, and I love this style, and I love it so much. That's just what I want to say. Otto Schmidt, I had never heard of this guy before this book, and I'm like, this is amazing. And the story is basically about Green Arrow and Black Canary's first meeting and them taking on a mission together. And it's really cool to see Green Arrow and Black Canary back together, because ever since the New 52 happened, we haven't really gotten any of that. They are going a bit more into the liberal side of Green Arrow than we've seen in the New 52. He's now considers himself a social justice warrior. My only problem with that is the fact that social justice warrior has really been taken down a lot, because when I hear social justice warrior, I think of Trigglypuff. If you haven't heard of her, search her up on YouTube, and I don't think Green Arrow, and I just feel like calling him a social justice warrior doesn't really work and doesn't really fit with who he is. Like, I'm talking about the name itself, because it's cool seeing Green Arrow get back to his roots, sort of to how he used to be, where he used to be a very left-wing guy fighting fat cats and stuff like that. So I like seeing that again. There are some things where they try to push it in your face just a bit, and so I hope they sort of lean off that a bit, because Green Arrow, while very left-wing prior to the New 52, he wasn't really like the writers didn't shove it in your face, and I just really hope Benjamin Piercy doesn't do that with this book. But yeah, this book overall is pretty cool. What happens in it is basically a homeless kid's mother gets kidnapped, and so Green Arrow and Black Canary investigate it together. They find out this guy is auctioning people off, because no one cares about a hobo. No one's gonna keep track, so if they sell a hobo, it doesn't really matter at all. And it's basically that's the book. It's about Green Arrow and Black Canary trying to track down what's going on with all this, and they find the guy that's selling the kids, but he gets away. And yeah, that's the book. It's really good. I like it. It's Green Arrow and Black Canary's first meeting. Again, the art is just fantastic. Seeing Ollie back with the goatee was great. I love his new costume. I think it looks pretty cool, because when they went with DCU, I hated the new suit for Green Arrow. I just did not like that look, so this look is pretty cool. I like Black Canary's outfit, and she is pretty cool. My only worries with this book are, like I said, I just hope they don't shove it in your face, and also the fact that I don't want it to be a Green Arrow Black Canary team-up book. I want it to be a Green Arrow book. If you want a Green Arrow Black Canary team-up book, make a separate book for this. Make her a side character, because this is Green Arrow's book. Just like in a Black Canary book, I would not want it to be a Black Canary Green Arrow team-up book. I would want Green Arrow to be a side character and Black Canary to be the main character. If you guys get what I'm saying here, just don't have it constantly be them two. Have her show up and everything, be a side character, but I just don't want it to just be a team-up book between those two. That being said, these two, I like their relationship in the book. It's cool seeing the beginnings of this, and I'm really excited to see where this book goes. So overall, the 3 books I read for Rebirth, all great. 4 if you include DC Rebirth that came out last week. This is all fantastic. I'm super happy with Rebirth so far. I'm like very pleased. They've done a great job, and DC is killing it right now in the comics, and I can't wait for more. Action Comics comes out, I believe, next week. Super excited for that. I'll have a review up for that and whatever else comes up that interests me. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like and let me know in the comments below what you guys think of these books, if you read any of them, and I'll see you guys in the next one.